Who would you trust with all of your worldly possessions? That's a question you should be asking when hiring a mover. How to find a trustworthy moving company is one of the questions that Bob Clark, President of Atlas Canada, is here to answer. It's your move. This is Daily Web TV. If you're planning a move, you need to talk to the experts. And we're here with the experts today, and that is Bob Clark from Atlas Van Lines. Now, Bob, as a moving company, you're a van line. What is a van line? Well,
that's a good question, Mario. A lot of people maybe don't understand what the value is to them in dealing with a van line type of moving system. And what the van line provides to the moving customer is a national entity throughout the moving process. So it's like buying a car. You can buy a used car from a used car lot, or you can deal with one of the name brand manufacturers where you have the backing of their programs of warranties and quality, etc. And that's what we provide here at Atlas Canada, is that type of national entity, regardless of where you're moving to or from, to make sure that the move is consistently performed from start to finish.
So if I'm moving, I've sold my house, how do I choose a mover? What should I do?
Well, I think you should do research. Now, the obvious way in the past has always been to refer to Yellow Page directories. And when you look at that, well, everybody looks good on paper. But you need to drill down and do some research and find out what that company's history is about, what type of assets they have. Even if you're moving locally, just going out and looking at the premises, you get a pretty good idea about how they operate and their cleanliness and their dedication to service and their commitment that they're making to their business.
So you mean the premises in terms of the place of business?
That's right.
Because it's very often a phone call and then someone shows up at your house.
True.
Right.
And that's a good start, to have somebody come over to your home and do an in-home survey. They're normally free of charge, no obligation. And that allows us to understand what your needs are. We understand what you need, because you wouldn't be calling us if you weren't moving.
Right.
The whole purpose of the in-house survey is to find out what you really, really want out of the relocation experience. It allows us to understand the sentimental value of personal property, the critical elements of extra services that we can provide. We can do a full pack, we can do a partial pack, storage if required, whatever needs to be done. But it allows us to see firsthand what it is that you want and expect out of this relocation process.
Now, if I'm getting a quote, how do I evaluate that quote? How do I know, am I paying hourly? How does that work?
Well, based on whether you're moving locally or long distance, local moves are normally under 150 miles, and they're based on an hourly rate, and long distance is based on the weight of your move. But it's essential for us to do an in-home survey to determine exactly what it is you're moving and other services that you want performed. If you want us to do the packing, if you want storage, if you want what we call third-party services to disconnect and reconnect appliances, we can do a world of things for you, but there's a cost to them. So it's very, very important for us to have full disclosure from you of exactly what it is you're moving, items that are not to be moved. And if you change your mind, that's okay. We can add them later, as long as you understand there's an additional cost, because we're just like a taxi. It runs by the meter. And it's normally charged from the time the truck leaves the yard to the time it returns.
And you want a trusted quote too. So if someone says, oh, it's going to take 6 hours, and I have another quote and they say it's going to take 10 hours, how do I judge?
Well, this is where the integrity of the in-home surveyor comes through. Their experience and the years that they've been in business, they know to estimate fairly accurately and to determine what services that they can provide in order to meet your budget. But it's quite often, it's surprising how people they'll get multiple estimates, get multiple quotes, and end up deciding on the basis of who their mover is going to be on the lowest possible price, which always surprises me when, how long has it taken for you to collect the treasures of your world? And there's a lot of stress in moving. There's a lot of anxiety when, as you said earlier, you have perfect strangers that are now going to show up in your home and load all of your personal possessions out on a truck and drive it away. And you're making that call, you're going to make that decision based on the lowest possible price. So I think, A, you need to do the research up front.
Right.
And you can do that through the internet. There's all types of sources and references. Going to see the place of business, that gives you a pretty clear idea about how established they are and the commitment they make to their business and our industry and to your move.
I love the advice there, Bob. I mean, having, you know, a nice set list of things to ask, and the fact that you are really full service.
Absolutely.
So it's not just grab the box, throw them in a van. There's so much more that you offer a client. Now, if someone wants to get an in-home estimate or quote, how can they reach you?
Best way to reach us is through either our website at atlasvanlines.ca or toll-free 1-800-268-5051.
Thank you so much. Now, if you want more information or if you want an in-home quote, be sure to contact Atlas Van Lines. I'm Mariel Bradley. We've been talking about taking the stress out of moving, and you've been watching Daily Web TV. For more information and moving advice from the pros, visit Jay's Moving and Storage Limited, 306-569-9369, movingsaskatchewan.com.